You don't have to point that out. You don't have to point out our faults. Just do a comedy bit for a minute.
I got nothing. Can't do this every time.
It's pretty normal, shaking someone's hand.
Yeah, it is. In our culture.
Standard. Yeah, true. All right. So I've got a bit of an intro.
Have you?
Yeah.
I wondered. Okay.
All right. We like to keep them. We like to keep them relevant to the time that we're putting the episode out.
Yes.
The issue with that is usually 2 weeks later.
No, the time we record the episode.
Yeah, the time. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, we record the episode.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that by the time we
pause for a sec. I think we just got a second look there.
Oh yeah.
They drove up the street, had a look, went up a bit further, stopped, reversed, had another look.
I'm really curious. We got some nosy neighbours going on.
We do.
But that's all right.
Sorry, continue.
That's all right. Hopefully they come and join us and
yeah,
be
I
a
should
guest.
mention this is the first time we've been prepared. So you'll see this episode, and 2 episodes ago we actually had someone randomly just come and talk to us. What's his name?
Jonathan Fook.
Jonathan Fook.
Fook's
Is his name? We can't find him. Well, I think we found him on Instagram, but he's not very active.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What about his girlfriend? He shouted out his girlfriend's
Shout out his girlfriend's handle as well.
Yeah.
There was a few options for her. She had a common name.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've got ourselves some new headphones and a new mic, and it's sitting on the floor here. If anyone comes over, we're ready for a chat.
We're good to go.
Okay, sorry.
Relevant
intro.
Well, we do the thing that's relevant, and it's usually irrelevant by the time we've edited the
yeah, that's
episode.
right. It's part of the gag.
It is quite funny. So we did the Suez Canal. It was already cleared up and all good to go. Everyone had forgotten about it.
The last one was good though, because still dead. So
I think I cut that out. I don't know.
I have to cut this out too.
Oh well, I don't actually know because the friggin' episode won't render. But anyway. Yes, that was episode 9, and we're recording 11.
This is 11.
This is we're getting a few in the bank before we've put something out.
We should mention where we are. So if there's any local live Clubhouse listeners, feel free to come and have a look. We are at the end of the Lookout, like the Burwood Lookout Road. I don't know what street that is, but Burwood Lookout's sort of on the corner. You keep driving, and there's a nice another lookout. And we were here for our 9th episode on the other side of the road.
Yes.
Facing towards a beach called Burwood Beach and Redhead and stuff. This time we're facing back between 2 houses towards Merriweather and the strip down there. So
it is a very good view. Too bad we can only describe it on Clubhouse, but I think that's part of the appeal of the app.
Exactly.
So I've got a little bit of an intro here.
Okay.
It might not slap. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's hit or miss.
Perfect.
Here we go. Let's go.
Confidence.
Welcome to HQLA, the only show that pays less capital gains tax than every other show.
Ah.
I'm Baron Wofford, and I'm joined by my co-host, Elongated Muskrat, the founder of PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, the future president of the universe. You're listening to episode 11.
Okay, so I'd mention there, maybe one thing that wasn't correct is I don't think Elon's the founder of Tesla.
I said Elongated Muskrat.
What? I can't understand you. It sounds like you're saying something but muffled.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. What is that? You want to explain or no?
No.
Okay, perfect.
This is push on.
All right. So I was looking at a company.
Yeah.
And so this company is called, and I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but it's called Grab. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't heard of Grab.
Awesome. So Grab is basically the Uber / Lyft / Uber Eats sort of thing.
Yeah.
Of Southeast Asia.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
we're doing another food delivery.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Interesting.
But they do more. I'll explain it. So
Okay.
So they founded in like June 2012.
Yeah.
And the headquarters is in Singapore.
Okay.
Cool. And so what they say on their one-liner in their like metadata on Google is that they provide everyday services like deliveries, mobility, financial services, and more.
Yeah.
And they are. Well, Grab is the Southeast Asia's leading super app, is what they call it.
Super app. Okay.
Super app, one word. So, do you want to guess how many employees they have? Just because it's a fun thing to do.
6,000.
Yes, they have 6,000.
How did I get that? That's wild.
Wow. Yeah, you know, on MFM,
Yeah.
Sean always talks about he likes
says
guessing
if you
because he gets better at it.
If you guess, you get
Well,
better.
there you go.
Yeah, all right. I'm impressed at myself.
Anytime. Okay, so the CEO is a guy named Anthony Tan.
Yeah.
And I've got a quick little rundown of his history. So 2004, he completed a Bachelor of Arts at the University of Chicago.
Okay.
Majoring in economics. And 2011...
Good major, you could say.
Yeah, he completed his MBA at Harvard.
Okay.
So, you know, that's more relevant. And then also in 2011, he founded Grab.
Right, okay.
I don't know what it looked like at that point, but he founded it then. He has a co-founder called Tan Hoi Ling. And...
his last name is Tan and his co-founder's first name is Tan.
yes.
Nice.
Although it's worth noting that sometimes with these
it's hard
Asian
to tell
names,
which one's the first name and which one's the last
that
name.
might be
Okay.
the first last, like a bit of a different system.
Yeah, yeah.
So 2006, she completed a Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering.
Okay.
And 2011, she completed an MBA at Harvard as well. Maybe that's where they met. I'm going to assume that's where they met in some sort of, you know, course at Harvard. And then 2011, obviously founded Grab at the same time. But the interesting thing is, for her, she in 2012 went on to become associate at McKinsey Management Consulting.
Yeah.
And
Is that the one that's in, is that the famous one that's in Boston?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
And in 2013, she was a senior director at Salesforce.
Ah, yeah, that's cool.
Randomly.
Yeah.
And in 2015, she finally became a full-time executive at Grab.
Yeah.
And 2021, just on the side, is a director at a company called TransferWise,
Ah, yeah.
which is now just called Wise.
Oh, really? They changed?
Yeah, they changed their name. So anyway,
That must have been pretty recent.
they did. It's like in the last maybe month.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Because they want to be, this is off topic, but TransferWise, they said the reason why they changed it was they want to be like all-encompassing of life, not just related to finance.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they called it Wise. So main competitors, as I said, what do you think? Probably like Uber, Lyft, right?
Yeah.
And so what do they provide? Well, they operate mostly in Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia.
Yep.
Okay. And they do, they have 5 main services.
Yep.
Which is deliveries, which is food deliveries specifically. And an alternative to the traditional dining options are home-cooked food.
Yeah.
And dine-in restaurants.
So, what are you saying that they'll provide you with home cooked food?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure, like, how that works. If someone cooks something and the chicken's off, but it's just a home cooked dinner. I really don't know how it works.
I'm sure the laws are a lot looser about that stuff, though.
Possibly. So that might not really work.
Yeah.
To scale. But anyway, so they do a thing called Express, which is their parcel delivery service.
Yeah.
They do a service called Mobility, which is their alternative to like normal modes of transport. So it's basically like their ride sharing, carpool, ride hailing service. And then they do digital advertising as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So they've broken into that space, which is cool. So at that point, they're now targets for Facebook, Google, etc. So in regards to, and the fifth option is, or the fifth service that they provide is actually financial services, which is very interesting because that providing financial services, they're now moved into the fintech world. So financial services include digital wallet and a card called GrabPay card, insurance, investment, loans, and pay later services. So at that point, there's quite an array of competitors within their space, being from pay now later services.
Buy now, pay later.
Yeah.
BNPL.
We've talked about some of those before.
Have we?
Haven't we?
Oh, okay. Yep.
I thought we've talked about the big Australian one. What's it, Afterpay?
No, we haven't.
Oh, we haven't?
We
Okay,
haven't
so Afterpay and similar services would be now be
we haven't
competitor?
done it. We haven't done it as a company. I don't know.
Okay. Maybe we've just mentioned it.
Maybe we mentioned it. Yeah.
And so, so fintech, ride hailing, food delivery, and digital advertising. So a bunch of different services.
So is the digital advertising just, are they just like advertising on their own app, or are they branching out to?
I think they allow
like,
digital advertising within their app.
Yeah, so that just means banner ads and stuff. It's just like,
Yes.
It's not like they're helping someone else get their ad onto a different service?
I
Or you
think
don't know?
I think they might also offer other people's services.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Like broker other people's services or whatever that.
Because that could be
looks like.
cool. Yeah, that'd be a cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it says the goal here is to provide alternatives to traditional advertising mediums.
Yeah.
So it sounds kind of cool. So in regards to the timeline and performance of
F-150?
key
F-250?
milestones, yeah, that's cool. It's an old F-250, really cool. Okay, so in start of 2012 / the end of 2011.
Yeah.
They, at the start of 2012, they launched their first service, which is Grab Taxi.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And that was in Malaysia. Then they expanded to Singapore, Philippines, Thailand in 2013.
Yeah.
A year later. 2014, they launched Grab Car and Grab Bike in Indonesia and Vietnam.
Yeah.
Then in 2015, Grab Express, which was their delivery service.
Yeah.
For parcels. 2016, Grab Share. I'm actually not sure what that is.
Yeah, okay.
2017, they surpassed $1 billion in sales.
Yeah.
Or revenue. And they launched GrabPay in Cambodia and Myanmar.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There goes the F-250 back up the road.
Oh, he's a noisy boy. He's having fun.
Wow, that was very loud. Sorry. Okay, so just 2017. Wow, you can really still hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. In 2018, they surpassed $5 billion, and they made acquisitions of Uber's business in Southeast
So hang on,
Asia.
2017 they passed $5 billion in revenue.
Yes.
What was the one before that? The $1 billion?
No, sorry. $1 billion was 2017.
2017.
$5 billion 2018.
Wow. So they grew 500% or 400%. Or whatever that
Well,
is.
in the same year, they made an acquisition of Uber's business
Yeah,
in
okay.
Southeast Asia. I assume they're including that
Yeah. Okay.
in their numbers. And then they also launched Grab Food and Grab Ads, which is the digital marketing that I was just talking about.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
2019, surpassing $10 billion
Okay. Yep.
and $1 billion in adjusted net revenue. And they launched Grab Kitchen, Grab Mart,
Yep.
Grab Finance, and Grab Insurance. 2020, they were able to secure a selected digital banking license in Singapore, and they launched Grab Investments and Grab Defense. Not sure what Grab Defense is. So you can see there some pretty significant growth from 2012.
Sounds like online shopping for nuclear missiles and stuff.
Grab Defense. I'm sure that's what it is.
Yep.
Okay, so in regards to monthly users, we could compare Grab, Uber, and Lyft, right?
Yep.
Monthly users on Grab. Do you want to have a guess? Yeah, have a guess.
Monthly users on Grab.
Yeah. It's
I'm
in the
gonna
millions.
say-
It's in the millions.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, it is.
Two figure millions.
Yeah. I know.
cool.
I know.
Oh, you know?
Yeah.
Okay,
well, no.
perfect, sorry.
I mean, I'm estimating, but
Okay, here we go.
I'm saying, I'm gonna say it's 55 million.
25.
Okay.
Uber, which is presumably bigger,
Yep.
just to give you a hand. Do you want to have a guess?
In Southeast Asia region or
No, in
total?
general. Total.
Oh, Uber in total.
organisation.
Total users.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
yeah. Because at some point, Grab is going to come and compete with them in their same market. So we'll compare the full business.
Uber's total users, I'm going to say, are per month.
Still two figure millions.
60 million.
91.
Okay.
So fairly significantly more.
Okay.
Yeah. Lyft is an interesting one.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Lyft is.
It's still in the millions.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Lyft is 30 million.
5.
5 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Yeah.
Okay, so 400 cities and 8 countries that they operate in at the moment.
Yep.
Now, I didn't mention at the start that this is a SPAC.
Here we go. Here we go.
More notably, this is the
The
yeah,
worst SPAC
no.
ever. Is that what you're about to
no,
say?
it's the world's largest SPAC in regards to
Oh.
proceeds generated from the SPAC acquisition.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, and so they just fairly recently announced their target, which is this company. So let's talk about the SPAC.
Yep.
So the SPAC issuer, or the company behind the SPAC, is called Altimeter Growth Corporation.
Okay.
And they're on the NASDAQ, and the ticker is AGC. Now, it's worth noting, we use a broker called Stake.
Yeah. You can't find it on there? Or?
No promotions here. It's not on there because they have a minimum of $900 million market cap
Okay.
before you can get on Stake.
Yep.
And they have an $800 million market cap. So whether or not they were going to be able to get on, they're not even big enough yet.
Wait, how'd you say it was the leading. You said it was the biggest SPAC there.
It is.
What? And it has an $800 million market cap.
Yeah. Let me explain.
What about?
It's got a huge pipe, so it's got a huge private investment.
Okay.
Side of it.
Right.
Because it's a larger SPAC. It's a larger SPAC acquisition. It is.
Okay.
Because it's like the acquisition part of it, not like the market cap of the shell company.
Okay.
So let me explain it and tell me if it still doesn't make any sense. So this company, Altimeter Growth Corp, is headquarters in California, and the CEO is a guy named Brad Gerstner.
Is it Palo Alto or is it the
place in California?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ah, okay.
So Brad has invested in Interactive Corporation. Have you heard of this company?
Interactive Corporation?
Yeah,
No.
It's really interesting. We might talk about this in the future. So Interactive Corporation just owns like a crap ton of brands.
Okay.
So they own like Investopedia, Vimeo.
Oh yeah.
A couple of different other like pretty notable,
Yeah.
really interesting, even niche style brands that they've just purchased or whatever.
Yeah.
So that could be a really cool company to look into. But he's also made investments and exits in Google. As well, and another company called MarchX, which is a cool conversation analytics company. Which is interesting.
Okay.
So anyway, needless to say, he's got a bit of background in investments.
Yep.
So this SPAC acquisition expects to have proceeds of $4.5 billion in cash handed over to this new, to Grab.
Okay.
And so that's what makes it the largest SPAC acquisition to date. The pipe size itself is over $4 billion. And so I was I wasn't quite sure what PIPE stood for. So it stands for Private Investment in Public Equity.
Okay, yeah.
And so you'll hear Chamath talk about it a lot on the All In podcast.
Yeah.
And so their investments include...
say his last name.
Palahapititis or something like that.
All right, now keep going.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. So $4 billion, $750 million is from Altimeter Capital Management, which is the main company that holds the shell company of this SPAC, and then BlackRock, Fidelity, Morgan Stanley, and a bunch of other less known.
Yep. And
$500 million of trust proceeds from the initial sale of the stock. So they sold at $10 each, and they must have sold, I think there's 50 or 60 million. There must be 50 million shares outstanding. So that's the proceeds from the IPO of the SPAC.
Okay, yep.
Plus the $4 billion in private is $4.5 billion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. So it's $4.5 billion deal value, and that's supposed to be the largest SPAC.
Yep.
What about CCIV that I did the other day, which is like $9 billion? That was Lucid Motors that I was talking about. No, sorry. Anyway, pretend I didn't say that. Keep going.
Gee, interesting. Okay, we'll look into it further.
All right. That sounds good.
So, a difference in this particular acquisition is that all the current shareholders in Grab can sell on day one.
Karen said hot voice, by the way, as he's listening.
Who's he talking to?
No, he was on our...
yeah, but you or me?
Well, he messaged it just to me, so it's probably me.
Dang it.
Yes.
So
you're welcome.
So all the shareholders, they can sell first day of when the acquisition happens and Grab goes public, which is fairly uncommon. Usually there's like a lock-up period, which we've talked about before, of a couple of months or something, so that it doesn't tank with all of their staff selling all the shares.
Yeah, lock-up period.
So it'll just be kind of interesting. They don't have that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So the valuation of the company's $30 billion.
Yep.
They say the proceeds is growth capital, so obviously they want to expand to, I'm going to assume, a lot of different countries or whatever it is.
So the value, maybe it's by valuation that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, like the largest company.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the largest company to SPAC. Even if it's only got $4.5 billion in equity.
Okay.
It can be the largest. Like, it still can be valued at...
Do you think that's
30.
reasonable? Like, do you think that's possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have to be made up of... It can be made up of private and public.
Mm-hmm.
And like the public equity can be 4.5 or whatever, but it can be valued at 30.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So the target closing date, which is usually a bit ambiguous, is July 2021, but we'll see how that goes. At the moment,
you never really know, hey?
No, you don't really know. They just kind of time it with the market. As I said, the shares IPO'd at $10 each, US price. They're currently at $13 $8, so it's not really big growth at the moment, but that's kind of expected in the current market, I think.
Yeah, SPACs have been getting a really bad rap for the last month and a half.
Yeah.
They were the flavour of the month.
They were
about
maybe 2
January
months.
and February.
Yeah, they definitely were, and tables have definitely turned on that. So as I said, the market cap of that SPAC is just 800 mil, and ownership of the SPAC company, 45% is institutions, 20% of that being Altimeter Capital Management, which is the parent company, and 55% is just general public.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty big general public pool. Interesting company. I think it's cool because it's like a huge company that you've never heard of that's like so prominent for so many people, for such a large portion of the world. I'm sure Grab is their whole life, you know?
Yeah.
That's how they get food, that's how they get places, that's how they get deliveries.
For sure, yeah.
So that shows it's got a lot of potential, I think. So we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, we'll see when they actually decide to go public and make that acquisition. As you said, SPACs aren't super popular at the moment, so they might hold off. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We'll see. I don't own it, and we'll see what the future holds.
Cool.
Any thoughts? No.
No, that's great. That's that sounds really cool. That's it's interesting going up against Uber and Lyft and that kind of thing, because like they've I don't know if they're considered kind of generally kind of bad, but yeah, it's I don't know.
Bad in what respect?
Well, people don't want to. I don't know. They haven't been succeeding for a while. Yeah, and it's like impossible to become profitable. Model? Yeah, and it's become impossible to make profit. Like it's a flawed business
model or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've never been profitable and all that kind of stuff.
And it doesn't look like there's a path to profitability to a certain extent. And then they get all the problems with like the gig economy, where they've got all these people who aren't staff but they are staff, and you know, the Californian
independent contractors, and and they decide to make them employees.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see. It's this tricky space. So anyway, it's worth watching. Okay, so here's what it says. This is ambiguous. I think what you're saying is correct. Here's a headline from CNBC.
Yep.
SoftBank-backed Grab agrees to deal to go public in world's largest SPAC merger.
Okay.
But I think what you're saying might be correct. Is it the largest SPAC merger?
Or maybe it's got the largest target that has been released that at that time, and it was like, this is when it's going to merge at $4.5 billion. Oh. And then randomly Lucid went...
No. I know what it is. You're actually right. So there's a second point here underneath the heading that says, record-setting SPAC merger with Altimeter Growth Corp, and then valued at nearly $40 billion. So that's the next phrase. So I'm assuming that's the thing that makes it the largest. The company size, basically.
That's fair enough. Yep. All right.
Nice.
That's one way to do it.
Perfect.
On to our next...
just a clarification.
Yeah. Well, we'll tie that into our last segment, and we'll be sweet.
Perfect.
So here's one that it's gonna be quite interesting, I think. I don't know. It's a bit of fun.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
It's something. I'm going back to my roots, and by back to my roots, I'm going to talk about the thing that I talk about every time: IPOs.
Ooh.
Oh yes. This one is Coinbase.
Oh, yeah.
So,
there was a chance that I would have done this.
Yeah, well, I wanted to beat you to it.
I feel like that was risky of you. Cause
I literally told you not to do it.
Did you? I don't remember.
I've said multiple times that I'm going to do it.
That must be why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. On episode 7, I said I was going to, I think.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
was that before that IPO?
And I think on episode 4, I think I also said it. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you got to expect these things. And then I'm pretty sure I texted you the other day. Don't do Coinbase. Anyway, I'm glad you're surprised by my content. It's good. Oh yeah, making some adjustments. Yep.
Continue.
Nice. So this one's cool because it IPO'd via direct listing.
What is that?
So it's different from a traditional IPO. Mm-hmm. And this is actually the largest, and it turns out I should mention for episode 9 that Roblox was the largest direct listing, which would have been a cool fact to include. And this is now the largest direct listing. So they've overtaken Roblox, which I just talked about on episode 9.
Yep.
And So yeah, it's the largest direct listing ever.
Yeah.
So the current market cap on at the 24th of April, which is today, is 58 billion. But it was listed on the 14th, so that was 10 days ago now. So direct listings are where the shares are directly sold by the owners without the help of intermediaries and underwriters or liquidity providers.
Okay.
Like the market makers and the Goldman Sachs and all the investment banks. And
are they new shares?
They're all shares that have been held previously. Like so there's no dilution from the original owners, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So here's why that is interesting, because they when they direct list, they choose a value that isn't like a lower value to get people like pumping the stock price up.
Yeah.
They choose a value that like is actually kind of realistic. Yeah. And or a lot more realistic than, and especially with all the other IPOs pumping up like crazy, right? So they choose the level that they want to direct list at.
Interesting.
And they don't use liquidity providers or anything like that. So with the traditional IPO, there's a market maker who buys, or underwriter essentially. Yeah. They hold a huge amount of like shares.
Like a hedge fund, like a hedge fund or something would be that, right?
No, it'd be like Citibank or or a traditional like investment bank kind of thing.
Okay.
And what they do, because hedge funds want to maximize their profits or whatever. Okay. These guys are just in a deal to buy and sell shares to keep the market moving. So they're a liquidity provider. So typically there's one of those helping out. Okay. This time there wasn't. It's just let the market go and see what happens. Yeah. So it's got no help of intermediaries. So I like this one because of Gary Tan. Now this is interesting. He's a VC. Yeah. He invested in Coinbase early on. Yeah. He's actually the first, from what I can find, he's the first investor in in Coinbase, which is really cool. Wow. So he's and I'm going to actually, in a later episode, I'm definitely going to go deeper into Y Combinator and Sequoia and all the other VC firms and how Silicon Valley really works. Yeah. It's something that I've been getting into a lot lately. Yeah. But so he's the VC that invested in Coinbase early on. Started with $300,000 in 2012. Yeah. And that investment is now worth $2.4 billion. Whoa. So his buy-in price was
pretty crazy.
His buy-in price was, well, and it's possibly more. That's on the day that the stock launched. But
I think Coinbase launched.
Yeah, Coinbase launched. Yeah. So
isn't it less now?
It's not.
Oh.
So
okay.
So his buy-in price was 15 cents. Yeah. And the stock price IPO'd at $250. Yeah. Now the price you'll see on Google is $328 because that was the first price that you could buy the stock at. Yeah. So it got the random IPO bug where it just shoots up anyway, even though it was overvalued to start with or whatever. Yeah. Or like it was a high value to start with because they wanted it as a high value to start with. Yeah. So the first price you could actually purchase it for was $328. Right. It's now at $291.
Right. Okay.
So that's higher. That's higher than the technical IPO.
250 or whatever.
250.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's lower than what you could actually start with. Okay. But it did top out.
How interesting.
So it's down 11% in the last 10 days. Yep. But it's been a bit of a rough period. I don't know for
just in general.
For the last month or whatever. So it's been a bit more plateauy / down. Yes. Than anything, I think. Yes. But the stock actually topped out at 420 on the first day.
Whoa.
So
that's right. I've seen those memes.
Yeah. So it went pretty wild. Yeah. So he essentially made over 6,000% on the return on that one.
Gotcha.
This guy's really cool because he's someone that I've looked up his net worth before, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. But I think because he's sort of lesser known, he's not as much in the public eye. He's got a YouTube channel now, and so he's getting more into being more public, I guess. Cool. But because I saw an interview of him a few years ago, and so that's why I liked his the way that he did. But he's not that well known.
Is he just an investor?
He was a partner at Y Combinator, right? And now he has his own VC firm. Has
he started anything himself that you're aware of?
Yeah, so I think he had his own company.
He did, okay.
And then after that, he became a VC. Yep. So that he could keep like with the money that he made from that, I think. Yep. So
Some fans.
I hope we got that. I hope we got that audio.
Yeah, I think we definitely
that was great.
If you can hear it, we got it.
This would be a quiet Tesla going past on the other way. Anyway.
Bit of road noise.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
Anyway.
That was interesting. Anyway, so...
right,
yeah,
okay, so he's done it all.
So, yeah, he...
awesome.
I've got a tweet with some of the other buy-in prices.
Yep.
I'll definitely be showing that one. But, yeah, his is 15 cents.
Wow.
And it goes up and up and up to $29 each for...
Do you have any idea when that was?
So it was in 2012.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, pretty decent for a 9-year.
Yeah, very good.
9-year return, 6,000%. So so it's decent. So I've looked up his, I've looked up his net worth before and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's really funny because one of the articles was like, oh, he's probably worth like we haven't got an exact figure, but we've estimated it to be 5 million.
Yeah.
And I
5
was like,
million?
yeah. And I was like,
what?
And then here's this guy turning $300,000 into $2.4 billion.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they're getting their very old information. Like,
true. Okay.
But yeah,
maybe he's got 5 million of cash in the bank.
Maybe that's what they were basing it on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think it's 5 million though. But yeah, I saw a different article, and it had 600 million as like the number.
I think a lot of those things are just clickbait.
Yeah, definitely. And so anyway, the back to Coinbase though. The original name was Bitbank.
Okay.
So yeah, obviously in that time between like 2012 and now, the Bitcoin's gone from having a market cap of under $1 billion to having a market cap of over $1 trillion.
Yeah.
So the founder's name is Brian Armstrong, who's still the CEO.
Brian Armstrong.
Brian Armstrong, yeah.
CEO. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
awesome.
so he's the way that Gary, who's the VC, going back to him for a minute, he describes him as Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs.
Oh wow.
So he said that he is the guy that can sell it, and he's the guy that can code it.
Yeah.
So essentially, that's a really cool combo because it's like you got he's a developer and a and a really good sales guy that's like rooting for his own business. Yeah. So that's a pretty cool compliment, I reckon. Like
that's awesome.
Being both of those roles, because I've never really thought about both of those roles as polar opposites kind of thing.
Yes.
But working together well. So yeah, if you can be both, that's kind of cool. So here's a good one. I actually heard the CEO Brian actually say this, which is funny because I thought it was just a. Well, I knew that it was a term, but it follows the picks and shovels approach, which is the picks and shovels during a gold rush.
Oh yeah.
So that's where instead of looking for the gold yourself during the gold rush, you give the people the tools to find the gold themselves. Yeah. And then you make heaps more through giving them that, rather than worrying about, what's the Bitcoin price going to be? What's the Bitcoin price going to be? Yeah. You can just give them the trading app to trade Bitcoin on. Yes. And it's like, oh yeah, that's actually a cool way to do it. Like,
if you know that gold's going to be valuable, but it's like risky going out and finding it because there's no chance. Like, there's a small chance you might find it. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Just give people access to it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So it's a cool app. It's got a very clean design. So it's based on.
Yes, I've seen it once on someone's phone, and I was really impressed.
Right. Okay. I've never actually seen the app. I've just looked at I've seen pictures of the
I'd agree.
user interface.
It does look really good.
So yeah, it seems it's similar to Robinhood's. Kind of design. Yeah. It's very, and they've built their business model around building a level of trust with users. Yep. So the trust is a huge thing because it's people's money, and they're obviously trying to make it so that it's not going to like lose people's money. Yes. So yeah, onto the business model.
Yes. Tell us.
In 2018, they had actually. Here, I'll get you to guess all the numbers. In 2018, guess how many users they had.
2018, how many users? Are we in the millions? Yeah. Okay. Right. How many users in total active users, I suppose?
Yeah, well, it's total. So the way that they measured it was total verified users.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a total verified user, that means you're going to have money in there to like...
Yeah, most likely.
To trade. So it means that you've at least made an account, put money in there. Yeah. And that counts as a user. Like that's
10 million.
It was 23 million.
Wow. Guess that's like the population of Australia almost.
Yes, that is, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And that's good.
Guess how many users they had at the end of 2020.
Right, okay. So 2 years later, big change in perception of Bitcoin and crypto.
Yep.
in that period. I'm gonna say it's more than double. Any indication on that one?
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to see where you would go with it. Obviously nowhere.
No, I was gonna say somewhere in like the 50.
Yes.
What is it?
It's 43 million.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, they've grown by 20 million, which is cool.
That's insane.
So that's that
I was
90% growth.
I was just going huge because
yeah.
No,
it's pretty impressive.
Okay.
So they got 43 million. That's
Wow.
retail users.
Yeah.
Then they have 7,000 institutions on top of that, which is cool.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. So they sell both retail and wholesale.
Right. Cool.
And like have products for them. I guess they would have a different. It wouldn't be an app for for an institution.
Maybe just a guy or something.
Yeah.
You reckon it's just a few people's jobs?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, and
they've just got clients.
Yeah, they would have they would have the interface, I guess.
Yes.
But they would have like all sorts of levels of authorization on top of it, I guess.
Yeah.
There
you go. Cool.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. So the way that it makes money is that they charge a fee for every buy and sell of crypto, right?
Yep.
So the fee is actually variable based on volume.
Yep. Okay.
But the average fee per trade, actually, you can guess this. Guess what the average fee that they got from their
per
clients
trade
was per trade. Yeah.
Right now, in dollars.
No, in percentage.
In percentage.
Yeah, because it's variable based on volume.
Okay, in percentage, I'm gonna say. I'll say 2%.
It's so the average fee that they got was 1.4%. So
wow.
It's a pretty hefty fee on trading.
Okay.
But so that means that's interesting because what they point out.
Yeah.
They say that with larger transactions, they pay a fee. Like the larger transactions pay a fee of 10 basis points, which is 0.1%.
Yeah.
which
So there's a
means
threshold.
that
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, that's institutional level, so 0.1%.
Right, okay.
And they're doing larger transactions, which means that they still make $1 million out
of
a huge thing.
Yeah.
So that means that there are like retail traders doing small stuff, getting paid that are like being charged 2.5% or 2% or something like that.
Like, and the value of that is potentially more than a wholesale trade.
Yeah. So the larger that you trade, the less percentage like that they take. But they claim that a lot of the value that they provide is in the integrated security in the wallets and products like that. So they say there's a lot of value that they're providing there for free, and then they can charge the trading fee as the way to make money. So
they have it's all exchange and a wallet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
And here's an interesting one. We talked about this in episode 10, last episode. You can earn extra yield through staking, which is something they've just introduced.
Cool.
So staking is where you put and you might be able to explain it better than me. Staking is where you put your crypto assets up, and we got that plane again.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Just a little Cessna or something. I don't know planes.
I'm gonna give that a correct from me. Definitely a Cessna.
You reckon?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know planes either. Gulfstream.
Perfect. Boeing.
Yep. Airbus. It's a 747.
Yeah, that's a famous one, isn't it?
Yep. Yes, it's a very tiny 747. So staking. Back to this.
Staking. Yes.
Staking is where you put your crypto assets up as collateral. They go into a pool and they're used to verify transactions on the blockchain.
Yeah.
And then you get a reward for that.
Yeah, that's right.
And that means you can't sell them in that period because they're put up as collateral kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're forced to hold, I guess.
So they have that service.
So is
there
that
certain coins on there or something? Do they?
Yeah. So they got that for Ethereum and whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to staking?
No, that's awesome. No.
Good explanation.
I think we talked about it a fair bit last episode.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine.
So yeah, that's how you would describe it. So onto their financials. Their revenue at the end of 2020 was $1.1 billion.
Okay.
And that's increased 139% since 2019.
Wow.
So obviously, 400 million or something.
So they only make money from fees.
Yes.
They don't take like a spread of the buy and sell price of stuff or whatever.
always assumed that brokers do that anyway.
Okay.
But
so it goes without saying, is it?
Yeah,
Like that would be part of their revenue, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, I would assume that. Yeah, there's a bid-ask
Would
spread.
have thought so. Yeah. Because who knows? Like, yeah, who knows what the price is?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there is usually a bid-ask spread, but.
Okay.
Yes, but I can't say that for sure because I don't know.
It's a strong maybe.
Yes, it's a strong maybe.
Perfect.
Yeah, so on their platform, 197 billion of trading volume in the last year.
Wow.
And earnings were $527 million, which is a margin of 41%.
Wow.
Which is quite decent.
That's really good.
So yeah, obviously it's pretty lean.
Yeah.
Being a broker. Like what like.
I wonder how many employees they have. You don't know, hey?
I don't know because that's not something I usually look up.
No, it's not.
But it is something you usually
look up. It is something I usually look up, which is why I'm wondering.
Doing it. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to guess that there are 1,000. And roast me in the comments if I'm wrong. Roast me in the Clubhouse comments. So yeah, a key risk is that the revenue is correlated very heavily.
Okay, sorry.
All right, what is it?
I just interrupted you. That was rude.
No.
I've got the number.
What is it?
What did you guess?
1,000.
1,249.
That's pretty close.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Robin Hood?
Oh, Robin Hood. Am I guessing that one as well?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to say Robin has 2,300.
1,281?
Wait, Robin Hood has 1,281.
Yes, about 40.
And Coinbase has
1,249. So about 40 difference.
Yeah, right.
And SoFi, which we've talked about on the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess?
Similar. Oh, SoFi isn't... Oh, similar. Okay. I thought SoFi was a big operation.
1,383.
1,383. There you go.
Yeah.
Didn't even let me guess.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Continue. I shouldn't have interrupted you.
No, that's okay.
Okay,
I liked it. Yeah, keep doing it as much as you want.
Perfect.
No, always interrupting me. No, women. So
got that bit out.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Not in a good place. A key risk is the revenue is correlated very heavily with the price of Bitcoin.
Yep.
So
yes.
So there's a graph of that. I'll add that in. Cool. At the bottom.
Awesome.
So when Bitcoin's price is increasing, like way more people use Coinbase.
Yep.
So there's that risk.
Yep.
That if Bitcoin stops moving or stops being volatile or anything like that, it's going to obviously have an effect on this Coinbase's revenue.
Yes. Their transaction would also be a sell transaction as well, right?
You'd make money on the sell side, but
so volatility, just up or down doesn't matter to them necessarily.
Yeah, when it's going up, more people are getting on the bandwagon, which means that they're making more revenue from the buy side, I guess.
Makes sense.
So one of the asymmetric benefits here is that they think cryptocurrency is still in its very early stages.
Yeah.
And with 43 million verified users on Coinbase, they see their total addressable market as the 3.5 billion people that use smartphones in the world.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more potential and market to capture.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't think that out of the 3.5 billion people that use a smartphone, there's a huge portion of them that are not going to be interested in cryptocurrency.
I agree. But even half of them.
Yeah. But then, I don't know. A lot of them are old or young or lost their money or they don't like investing or they don't see a use case or anything like that. Anyway, apart from that, I've got the price of Bitcoin today is 65,000 AUD.
Jeez.
Which,
bit rough.
It's going down a bit. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, actually. Everything just kind of went down yesterday, I suppose. Or the day before when they announced those capital gains tax reforms in the US.
We should have a comment on... Everyone should comment on what they think the price will be. No, everyone comment on what the price is right now.
Okay.
And I wonder if... Well, it'd be interesting to see if it's 80,000, 100,000, 40,000. You know, it'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Be more cool if it's 100.
Yeah, more... Yeah.
A bit less cool if it's 40.
Yes. That's true.
Awesome. That's sick. So you haven't told us if you own it yet.
Yes. I have 2 shares.
Oh, cool.
How
much did you buy them at?
I was just looking at
did you buy them at 420?
cryptos are so Bitcoin's at 65,700 AUD. I should find the US price.
True.
Address our US audience,
Perfect.
which is 48% of our listeners. Only 6% are Australian.
True.
So we're going to have to address
That's good.
address it to the US. Oh, this is a bit clunky, isn't it?
Any moment
50,326.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah.
There you go. We'll
And
see what it is.
Ethereum is.
I don't care.
You don't care.
I'm joking.
Ethereum's 2,300. So
Nice.
yeah, it's cool. So I've got 2 shares of CoinSpot.
CoinSpot?
Coinbase.
Tell us about CoinSpot.
No, I don't know anything about CoinSpot. Forgot what company I was doing.
Coinbase. Okay, 2 shares Coinbase.
Yep.
What? Any idea what you paid for it?
325.
Okay.
They're $2.91 now. So
Perfect.
10% loss. That's all right though. It's all part of the fun. Wouldn't worry about it.
Awesome. Sick.
All right.
All right. And so yeah, I might talk about a car. Okay, so I'm talking about the 2021 Ferrari SF90 Stradale.
Ooh, Stradale.
Okay, and so this is a pretty sick car. It shares its name with the SF90 Formula One car,
Yeah.
which was the 2019 F1 season Formula One car.
Yep.
And the 90 stands for it was the 90th anniversary of the Scuderia Ferrari team.
Yeah. Cool.
SF90.
Yes.
In regards to lineup in
Yep.
the Ferrari world of cars,
Yeah.
it sits between the 812 Superfast,
Yeah.
which was pretty high up there.
Yeah.
We spotted one around here in the last month or two.
Is that the white one?
No, it's like
No.
a grey-looking one that was in the Lingard Hospital.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like-
Oh, that's right.
It's like at least 700 grand Australian, and with a few extras. And it sits between there and the LaFerrari, which is obviously top of the pile. So it's an impressive car, but the thing is it's not limited number. So it's never going to be collectible.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It is. It's a Ferrari, obviously. But it's not going to be of the caliber of a LaFerrari or F40 or F50 or anything like that. So price looks to be somewhere around 900 grand Australian without options and on-road costs, which I'm sure would increase that a fair bit.
Yeah, that's so much. So much for a non-collectible Ferrari.
It is a hybrid, so we'll talk about that. So it's designed by a guy named Flavio Menzoni, and he...
Good accent.
Thank you. He has basically designed most...
You've been to Italy, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Yeah. That's how I could tell. Sorry, yeah, continue.
He... I can't get over when people just stare at you with like an angry look on their face. What are those guys doing?
Were the people that are driving up, or are they still staring?
No, they're gone. It was a lady driving.
Oh, yeah.
She just lives there, I think.
Just beeping at you.
So he's designed a bunch of stuff like the F12. He's just was the co-designer on the LaFerrari
Yep.
and most other Ferraris. So the body style is it's a 2-door sports coupe. Do you know what they call it? Do you know what the Italian word is? I feel like
Spider.
you know this.
Oh, not
No.
Spider. Oh, a 2-door. What?
Starts
for a
with
2-door?
B.
Oh, are you talking about the stylist?
Yeah, so the style of the car. So it's a 2-door sports coupe is what we call it in English. But what's the Italian word for that? Do you know?
Berlinetta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound you'd know that.
Oh, yeah.
well,
Thank you. Good quiz. I like it.
Good.
I had to dig through the memory archives.
And then they're going to make a 2-door hardtop convertible version as well.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that out yet. So it's all-wheel drive. It's got a longitude. Do you know what longitudinal mid-engined means?
Yes. Yeah.
What's
Well,
that mean?
You put me on the spot now. It means that instead of facing north-south, it faces east-west.
Yep.
It so yeah, the sideways engine.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's an interesting way to do it. It's a
It
front.
depends on which way you put the compass. Is it the opposite of what you just said? Wouldn't north-south be longitudinal?
Yeah, you'd think so.
Because wouldn't you put the compass as if you were looking down on the car with the front?
Yeah.
Anyway, we are on
No,
the
I
same
get
page.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah,
Yeah,
anyway, it runs with the length
Yeah, I
of the
remember
car.
it with because flatitude is latitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't make sense, but yeah. Anyway,
So longitudinal.
all good.
Whoa. It's got a little bit wet. Sorry.
The neighbours just getting angry at us.
So it's got a longitudinal mid-engine 4-litre twin-turbo V8. So it's the same engine as the 488 Pista, which is an insane looking car. I always loved the 488.
Yeah.
And then when they came out with the Pista,
Yeah.
it's just shockingly good.
Yeah.
800 horsepower.
Yeah.
Pretty significant. And we're just talking from the engine here.
Yeah.
And the engine's mounted really low. So if you like look into the to the back of the car, if you open the engine lid, the engine's like not just sitting there. Like you see some like.
So is that part of the advantage of doing it sideways?
No. Well, it's not sideways though.
Oh, it's not sideways.
It's longitudinal.
All right. Sorry, I thought we were talking about. What is that not normal?
Yeah, it's normal.
Oh, okay.
We were just talking about it. Well, it's not normal. It's not normal for like a Corolla.
Yeah.
And it's not normal for a MR2.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Back to what you were saying.
So the engine's mounted really low. So if you see like a Audi R8, for example, which is the one that I can remember, or even a Gallardo, if you're kind of like standing behind the car, you can see the engine's kind of sticking out, and you can through the glass engine lid.
Yeah.
In this particular car, even if you open the lid, it's like way down in the guts of the car.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, never mind.
Which is which is really cool actually, because
that was and I like made this weird eye contact, and then I like realized who it was after. I always good with the ladies. Anyway,
awesome.
Sorry, I'll cut that bit out.
Yeah.
I'll cut that out of our live recording.
Yeah, perfect. Yes.
we need a bleep button for our live.
10-second delay. You can bleep
10-second delay. Yeah.
Okay, so so it lowers the center of gravity.
Yeah.
Obviously makes the car feel better.
Yeah.
So it's got 3 electric motors.
Wow.
One is on the rear, just on the transmission.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 are on the front wheels. And do you want to guess the range? Here we go. This will be good.
Oh. Is this petrol and electric?
Yes, that's a hybrid. Guess the range of just the
just the electric stuff.
electric motor.
I'm gonna guess that. Well, there's 3 of them, so it's not like that silly McLaren which only did 10. Sorry, it's not like that really cool McLaren that only did 10.
No, I'm implying that it's not far from it.
Oh, okay. So all right, just on electric, I'm gonna say that it does. Is it in miles or kilometers?
Kilometers.
I'm gonna say it's 40 kilometers.
26.
26. Oh, rough.
But it increases by 200 horsepower. So total horsepower is 1,000.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
But the whole idea is that they can continuously. It doesn't need to have range on the batteries.
Yeah.
Because it's just continuously charging anyway.
Correct.
And it's just to add power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. 8-speed dual clutch transmission.
Yeah.
That 1,600 kilos is the standard Berlinetta.
Yeah.
And 0 to 100, have a guess.
Oh, 2.1.
2.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah, decent.
Not EV range, but pretty good.
Yeah.
It does outperform the LaFerrari.
Yeah.
Just,
that's cool.
Out of interest.
LaFerrari.
A couple of interesting facts. The key for it is like a leather rectangle key with 2 buttons on it.
Yeah.
No significance, but it doesn't have any kind of loop function. So what I mean, like it doesn't have like a little metal loop on it or a little divot to put a loop in.
Yeah. Because
what they say is like this shouldn't be a key that sits on your key rings. This should be a key that sits by itself for special occasions. Yeah. Okay. So cool. It's not able to be put on a key ring. Yeah. Which is kind of funny.
That's a very Ferrari thing.
Yeah. Has electronic door releases. So when you open the door, you actually push down like this on the door when you're outside. There's like a little handle. You push down on it and it unclicks, pops open, and you can pull it out. Yeah, on the inside, cool. You can press a button. Same thing. I think it's cool, but I don't know what happens when it has no power.
Yeah, that's always a concern, I guess. But yeah. I guess it gets less and less of a concern as you obviously go through time, like more new cars.
Right.
Like as cars get newer and newer, it's less of a worry.
It's more of a common feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had that car in 2005,
yes, that's
it's
that's the only thing you'd be worried about.
It's definitely going to break, and then you can never get in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes there's a split key, like in the Range Rover, you can split the key up.
I'm sure there's a function like that.
And there's a little thing, and you put it underneath the door, and it unlocks.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a function like that. It's got 2 fuel doors or whatever, so it's like on either side they're mirrored. One's the electric charger, one's the normal fuel cap.
Yeah, okay.
So like if you were like trying to figure out which side it was on and you were outside of the car for some reason,
it'd be hard to tell.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Okay.
So it's got this new Ferrari interior which they've rolled out across 2 cars now, which is this one and there's a car called Aroma, which came out recently as well, which is more like in the California spec range.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And basically everything's screens.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen this yet, but this car has. I'm just thinking. Yeah, this car has pretty much no knobs or dials at all anywhere.
Yeah.
Which is really, really strange. So just a few things to point out. Like even the start-stop button, for example, it's on the bottom of the steering wheel. And it's not a button. It's just a small screen with start-stop that lights up. And you press it like a touch screen.
I don't know if I like that. Yeah.
And in the Roma, I'm not sure if it's a function that you can add into here, like a setting. But in the Roma, the way that you start it is you swipe it kind of like an old iPhone.
Ah.
You know how in an old iPhone you kind of swipe it like that?
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not saying I condone this, but it's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's got a massive gauge cluster, which is fairly common nowadays.
Yeah.
Which is all just one big screen, obviously. And then the drive mode dial, which is usually just to the right, like a little red dial, you can change the drive mode.
Yeah.
It, like the actual dial, like the figures behind it showing what mode you're in is also looks like a screen. So at this point, the whole steering wheel just looks like a big screen. Like it's a little hard to describe, but we'll get a photo of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you put it in hybrid mode, it actually engages the engine when it's required. So I was watching a video of this guy driving it.
Yeah.
And he's driving down the street, and when he's kind of like really light on the accelerator, the car goes completely quiet.
Oh, okay.
And then as soon as he starts to accelerate, I don't know how it flawlessly does it. I guess it's kind of like those. I guess it's kind of like the cars where you like start off at the lights nowadays and they start up straight away.
Yeah.
It then engages and you can hear the engine start to burble in the background.
Oh, that's cool.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously good fuel economy.
Do you know if it's a Pininfarina or a Bertoni?
What?
Or do you know if it's a Pininfarina or
what does that
a
first
Bertoni?
word mean?
Well, that's the design house that does. So there's two design houses that make Ferraris.
Right.
One of them's Pininfarina and one of them's Bertoni. They're
don't know.
two Italian design things that do all the bodies for Ferraris and Aston Martins.
So they're always one or the other?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't know.
Ah, there you go.
It's a good question. It's got regenerative brakings, climate control systems, all the screens. So it's like this little tiny screen with buttons on it that you have to like swipe and press, and it's just very strange. It's got a trackpad on the steering wheel, which like allows you to like scroll through different settings on the main screen.
Oh yeah.
It's got like a View Max button. It just says View Max. And you press that, and then the whole screen becomes like a navigation screen. And you press it again, and it just becomes like cool racing dials.
Yeah.
And then you press it again, it goes back to this normal multi-mode with everything on it, because everything's on there. The only way you can see the climate control like setting is on that screen in front of the driver.
Okay.
There's a tiny little indicator like on the other screen, but on the little dial screen where you actually change the setting of the climate control, it doesn't say what temperature it is. It's very strange.
Yeah. Ferrari do some weird things though.
Yeah. So there's a like up here, up on the center of the ceiling, is the unlock and lock functions for the doors.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a screen with like screen press buttons.
Yeah.
And then on the driver's door, there's a screen under the driver's side vent, and it's a touch screen, and it has all the controls for the mirrors and to turn the lights on and off and stuff like that as well. And it's also worth noting that this the car has no like steering column stocks.
Okay.
So like the blinkers and the lights and everything, they're all on the steering wheel.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, lots of screens. The radio is just a screen. It's just a tiny little slim screen. It looks really strange. The gear selector is really interesting. The gear selector mimics like an old school gate shifter. Like imagine like chrome.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see every little gear. It looks like that. It's like a mini version, and it's got these little buttons that you press back and forth to go to different gears.
Oh, okay.
So it's trying to I think it's trying to combine a bit of retro old school with hyper modern interior vibe. Storage inside's not very good.
Yep.
So it's got a single cup holder in the middle and like a little bit of net storage and like a little center console. That's about it.
You know what else is bad at storage? My car.
Yes. It's probably,
getting all this gear in my car. And then
it's very true, because I rode my motorbike.
Yeah.
And so it's got like leather and Alcantara bucket seats, which is kind of nice.
Yep.
You can get this option called the, hang on, let me have a go here.
Yeah.
The Assetto Furano option.
Yeah.
And this option, you get like a special door sill display that says that phrase.
Yeah.
And it reduces the weight by 30 kilos.
Okay.
You get carbon fiber wheels, which is probably where they lose the weight.
Yep.
You get better racing suspension, so different suspension, and you get a carbon fiber spoiler.
Okay.
And then one other design element on the outside of the car is the taillights are these kind of almost circular, two on either side. And it's like a throwback to the old Ferraris that used to have just the double circle taillights.
Yeah.
They're trying to, again, throw back to something more retro, whereas the rest of the car looks really, really hyper modern.
Yep.
It's got like this double exhaust that comes out the top of the middle of the rear, which is cool, big diffuser.
Yep.
It's got like a plaque. So if you open the front trunk, it's got a plaque and it shows the optional extras that have been added onto that car.
Oh, okay.
Which is a kind of cool feature.
Yeah.
Good to know if you're ever buying one second hand.
You find these crazy details. It's great. It's like who knows about that? Like even someone who owned one probably doesn't know that.
So one interesting feature is it has a racing seat lifter.
Oh yeah.
Which is really just power seats, but that's what they call it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a really cool car. It's really expensive. Like as I said, it's probably $1 million at least.
Yeah.
In Australia.
To get it, to get it through all
costs.
the luxury tax and whatever.
At that point, you'd probably buy something else. But one source that I was looking at was a guy named David Lee, Ferrari collector or something.
Yeah.
It's this guy, I think, in California, and I think he virtually owns every model of Ferrari.
Wow.
Yeah,
That'd be
like,
cool.
Really, really crazy.
Yeah.
And so he has this car. So it makes a lot of sense for someone like him, but I don't understand why you'd just buy this Ferrari over like something more collectible or...
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, I mean, it's got good performance, but yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because their market, obviously, well, not always, but their market are like sold out Ferrari owners, some of which might be fairly old.
Yeah.
Aren't going to love the touch screens, I don't think.
That's true. Yeah, that's interesting.
So,
yeah, it's interesting that you say that that it's not a collectible thing because they're only going to make, I mean, non-collectible probably means they make 500 though.
Yeah.
And
well, it's however many are ordered, which being so expensive could still be not many, yeah.
Yeah, so it literally could be 1,000 or something.
Yeah, it's true.
And then it's still compared to the one-off that they did, which was 200 of them.
Yeah,
you know, it's
similar.
like, oh, it's still kind of rare. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's true. So yeah, that's that. I wouldn't buy it, but it's cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So I was thinking...
Transition sound.
Thank you. So I put up this post on social media.
Yes, I liked this. This was the most you thing that I've seen.
Wait, no, I'm not talking about that one.
Oh, right, okay. All right. Pretend I said nothing.
Maybe we'll talk about that one another time.
The question, yeah, okay.
Yeah, not the question.
Don't worry about that.
So this is a statement. And I think it's a really interesting statement to consider when you're making decisions in your life. And one of the reasons why I thought we'd talk about it was because I just got so many responses back from it.
Yeah.
So here's the statement. So if your life is more important than your principles, then you sacrifice your principles. But if your principles are more important than your life, then you sacrifice your life. Right?
Yep. I was definitely paying attention and
Not looking at the F-150?
I wasn't zoning out.
Okay, so yeah, I'll say it again. So if your life is more important than your principles, then you sacrifice your principles.
Yep.
If your principles are more important than your life, then you sacrifice your life.
Yes.
So I was just thinking like principles in my life, for example, are
This is still a very you statement.
Is it?
You would say that. Yeah.
Well, I did.
Well, I mean, you would act like that.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I think it's just a constant tension because it's like eating healthy or like getting up early or going to bed early. Like they're a good run, right? So like going to bed early.
Yeah.
You have the principle of going to bed early, but are you going to miss out on some key moments in life because you're in bed?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And so eating healthy, are you going to miss out on, say you're traveling and there's this super unhealthy, bad for you thing and you don't eat it because you're like eating healthy.
Yeah.
Did you miss out on an opportunity?
Yeah, but then like that sucks because it's like you're not enjoying the time away with the
I agree.
people and
I agree.
Yeah.
So then where do you find but okay, on the opposite end, there's the people who eat McDonald's every night.
Yeah.
Because they feel like it or they like want it or maybe that's a bad example, but they eat whatever they want and they go to bed whenever they want and they don't achieve what they want to achieve, but they get to do all the experiences that are presented.
Yeah.
How do you, I don't know, have you ever considered this? Do you ever think about,
definitely.
like, how do you weigh up
Yeah.
the importance of a principle versus the situation at hand.
100%. Yeah.
Do you have any rationale?
It's I don't know. I like to think of it like there are times when I allow myself to be
Right.
like able to do whatever, and then there are
Mhm.
times when it's like, oh yeah, it's not, that's not a good choice, or that's,
So it's almost like you have a principle, and the principle is allowing yourself to disregard principles in certain situations.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Is
that's
that-
what it is.
is that
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So because it's not like it's a decision that you made before you're in that situation. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
yes, I know that I'm gonna be in a situation where it's worth me disregarding a principle of
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
bed early in this situation because of this really great conversation I'm having with this person at this party.
Yeah. True.
It's not
yeah.
worth me leaving now.
Yeah. Could be your wife. You could miss out because
Could be
like,
your wife.
I've got to leave at 9:30 because I got to.
Yeah.
Get
9:30
to-
is pretty late.
Well, I mean, it's late for you, but well, maybe you wouldn't do this then. But no. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's definitely one to think about. There are times when you lose. Like you got to think about it like this as well.
Mm-hmm.
There are times when you don't do what your principal thing is due to, like
Mm-hmm.
convenience, right?
Yeah.
And then you get out of the habit of doing the
Yeah.
thing that is your principle.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like running, right?
Yes.
Um,
Good. Okay. Great.
So like I think I went for 2 runs this week,
Okay.
and at the end of last week I
Yeah.
said I'm going to do 4 this week.
Ah. Okay. Okay.
But the thing was I got out of the, so I think, I don't know, say I did Monday, Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
And then Wednesday it's like, well, I did Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
so I can rest, and then I can do Thursday, Friday, right?
Yeah.
But then from Wednesday it's like broke the momentum.
Mhm.
Then Thursday was like, now I've got no motivation to continuously do this, you know. And then Thursday, Friday, and then that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You gotta have I think you gotta have a level of grace where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, well, now because I've done that, I'm never gonna go for a run again.
Yeah,
because that would
you're
be so
right.
silly.
Correct.
You gotta say, hey, no, that's like. So looking at this now, 'cause it's Saturday now. Looking at it now, it's like, oh yeah, okay, that's okay. Now I'm gonna have another go at doing 4 next week.
It's a blank slate. It's a sunk cost.
Yeah.
It's completely irrelevant to
Yeah.
where we are right now.
But it doesn't make me feel significantly worse about myself.
Yeah.
Because if it made me feel significantly worse about myself, then I would just not go for a run again.
Yes.
Ever kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Correct.
I don't know.
So okay. So I don't know. Maybe I'll say the other statement that you were referring to,
Okay.
which is I got to think of it because I didn't write this down. It was a question that I posed on my social media, and it got some responses as well. I just wanted to see what people thought. The really interesting thing with this one was it was really divided. I shared some of the people's responses. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
And some people
a
were
lot of
just
them were just yes though.
well, no. Some of them were yes, and some of them were hard no's.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
Okay.
So I think it just says a lot about the person. So the question was, can discipline constitute a false sense of productivity?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was the question.
Yep.
And so my thought in this is like, can you, let's say, we'll take the whole going to bed thing. So let's say getting up early. So like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I feel like if you getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and being up at 5 o'clock in the morning in itself, it's hard to say. I was going to say it's not an achievement, but it is an achievement because it is hard.
Yeah.
But you've done nothing of productivity. You've produced nothing.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. It's the same as going and sitting at your desk and
Yes.
and then
And
reading,
saying you work.
and
Saying you went to work for 12 hours.
and then but you just read your emails
Yeah.
and then didn't reply to any of them
Yes.
and didn't come up with anything. But
Correct.
you had a schedule and you had a plan and you went, I'm going to read my emails from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock and then
Yes.
and then I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do this and then
Mhm.
I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
And it's like it's false productivity.
Yes.
It's discipline, but it's not productivity.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I'd say another.
There's no output.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I saw a lot in like the corporate world or like in business world or whatever you want to call it, office world we'll call it.
Yep.
I saw a lot of there's a lot of meetings,
Yes.
and I feel like that's the same thing as well. Where it's like, it's so annoying when I hear people say like, "Oh man, like I'm backed up with meetings today." You know, like you've heard these people, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm so busy, like I've just got so many meetings on,
Yeah.
like whatever. And then it's like, but what do you, is there anything being produced by these meetings? Like, yeah, good on you for being so disciplined, having a great schedule.
Yeah.
Everyone's scheduled it in. You banked it up really nicely. You're super busy and important.
Yep.
But like, is this really producing anything?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Same thing as getting up early. Are you producing anything? Same thing as sitting at your desk for 12 hours and being at work for 12 hours. Like, are you producing anything? Or are you just spending like 2 hours having a lunch break and like talking to everyone in the office, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it was like a conviction that I had this week.
Well, yeah, I thought it was super interesting that you said that because you've definitely got the discipline.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to work on the productivity. No, I'm just kidding.
No. What you're saying is true. Like it's easy for me to just go, yeah, cool. Like I'm getting up early and I'm exercising and I'm at uni long hours and I'm going to heaps of lectures, but that's not the measure. I thought that was the same guy for a second when I didn't look because it kind of sounded like it. That's not the measure. Yeah. We can't be measuring, like we need to stop saying, we need to stop saying to our friends, oh man, I was at work for 12 hours. We need to stop saying I was at 50 meetings today. Yeah. What time did you get up? You know, like, because they're not measures of success or productivity.
I agree.
So,
cool.
Thanks.
I think we leave it there.
Perfect.
This is the only show that pays less capital gains taxes than every other show. For context, that's... never mind.
You can keep talking. Actually, no, you can't.
No, I can't.
It's gone. Wait, no, it is recording though. So if you want to say something, you can keep saying it.
Is it still recording?
Yeah, it is still recording. Yes, just trust me.
For context, Joe Biden made the capital gains tax for millionaires 43% or something like that.
Yeah, yep.
Anyway. Yep.
Perfect.
It's been episode 11. Thanks very much.
It really has.